What's good, bro? Today video is about self-reflection. So, a lot of people do not know how to self-reflect, and that used to be me, and I'm still working on this skill. Self-reflection is one of the most underrated things that you can develop as a man. And in here, I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can do to improve on it, as it is one of the most important skills. Because, bro, without self-reflection, you simply cannot improve further. You might be able to learn new things and adapt them to your life, but if you lack that skill to just sit there and self reflect and see how you can improve even further, or maybe some of the things that you do that might not be so productive or even good. And here I'm today gonna help you develop some things that will help you build that self reflection. So here we go. Number one thing is regulating your nervous system, bro. You cannot self reflect properly if your nervous system is not regulated. That's the first thing you need to do. Learn how to regulate your nervous system. For me, it was taking deep breaths and just sitting in silence a little bit. That regulated my nervous system to a level where I could at least look at the problem from an outside perspective, where I could stand back and just look at the problem. Because a lot of the time, when people give you feedback or tell you that you're doing something wrong, they might not necessarily mean to attack you personally, but they telling you a quality that you need to fix or something that maybe you need to improve on. And self-reflection gives you that power to not just work on that by yourself, but when people tell you different things and qualities that might not be the best for you to adopt, you can sit there and take it as a third person and be like, oh, okay, you're talking about the habit. I can work on this. I can improve on this. And this is something that I have learned in my relationship. And it is humbling to experience that, because self reflection is one of the most powerful things you can do. It is requiring you to take your ego out and listen to the problem that is being said, not about taking it personally or attacking somebody. Self-reflection starts with the fact that you need to regulate your nervous system first. Regulate that nervous system. Understand that a lot of the time it is not personal. People will call out a quality and a lot of you will take it personally. But self-reflection is having that awareness to just not take it personally and realize, oh, okay, this is specifically about the quality, specifically about something that I'm doing. I can improve that. And of course, it's not always the case, but understand that's the beginning of what self-reflection is self-regulation. Self-reflection starts with self-regulation. You need to learn how to regulate yourself. Be aware of your thoughts and beliefs, because a lot of you have beliefs since childhood that constructive criticism simply does not work on you, because you have been attacked ever since you were a kid and you take that as a survival mechanism. You're in fight or flight, and that's a problem. So first step is always to regulate your nervous system when it comes to self-reflection. So a lot of you don't say or do any hasty things that you'll end up looking back on and not liking the outcome of. So self reflection start with self-regulation. That is the first step. Learn how to regulate your emotions first, because for you to reflect on a situation properly, you need to be regulated. Your brain shouldn't be firing too much, and you definitely should be aware of your ego, because it will start speaking up. So distancing yourself from situation and seeing the actual problem that people are trying to point out to you is one of the most important aspects of self-reflection. Distancing your self-worth from the problem and seeing the problem for what it is. It's just a problem. Whether it's someone called out a bad quality in you, stand back and look back. Is it true? Does it hold any truth to it? Look at it from a factual point of view, and it is hard to do that if you're not regulated. That's the first step to self-reflection, is self-regulation. The second step is having humility. Understand that with self-reflection, you need humility. A lot of guys with big egos cannot sit down and self-reflect on the things that they did or the things that they need to work on, because they simply have big egos. And your ego tricks you to think that just because you made a mistake, you're less of a person. But if I learned anything in the last year, humans are so imperfect and we all make so much mistakes. And adopting the mindset that it is fine to make mistakes, that making mistakes is literally the epitome of humans. Humans literally make mistakes That's just how humans are. So take your ego out, and you're not always right. Know that you could be wrong. Sit there and reflect on that. Reflect on the things that you need to reflect on, because you understand that you're not better nobody. You're not immune to the errors of the human being. So understand that, and that again will give you a better reinforcement for building self-reflection. And the third things you can do to actually keep self-reflection going is always hearing people out. And this might sound this might sound counterproductive because it's called self-reflection, but understand that just like you self-reflect with yourself, it is good to listen to people, because building emotional intelligence also helps you. Because the more you listen to people and their problem, you develop more empathy toward them, and that empathy goes inward as well. And that's not a thing that a lot of people talk about. But start to get to see it from people's point of view, and then you can self-reflect on how the thing that you did apply to them, because a lot of the time you might not understand someone else unless you put yourself in their shoe, but that takes self-reflection, that takes time, that takes skill. I hope this video was clear. I gave you 3 things that have helped me with self-reflection, which is regulating my nervous system, understanding that you could be wrong, and taming your ego, because I'm realizing that ego has so much to do with a lot of the things that we do and say. And last thing is to be more of a listener, developing more empathy toward people, and that will go inward as well. I hope this video helped, bro. You have a good one.